Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Neurodiversity Vessel Assess. I'm your host, Navarro. And boy, was TNA very interesting this week. It was very, I don't even know, very WTF. Because there was a lot of matchups that were just crazy. Some of the matchups seemed more pay-per-view wise. It was just I don't know. TNA was really crazy this week because we had an intergender match, a mixed tag team, and then a hardcore Wicked Gordon match that was so violent that at times I felt like I couldn't even watch it. It was so I'm gonna get to that. The Hardys and the Righteous had one of the most bloodiest tag team matches I saw in a while. Just pure chaos to close off TNA. But TNA was kind of wild. So before we do, please like, comment, subscribe, and now let's get on to the craziness that was TNA this week.
Will get red hot.
Just got knocked, clap the hell out.
So we open up with Eddie Edwards versus BDE, and from the jump, BDE went high flying, getting the upper hand. But you know how Eddie Edwards is. He had Alicia and the system take down BDE and then pick up the win in a pretty quick win. But then after, Fabian Aichner and Slater came in for the save, so most likely we're going to get some type of six-man tag, maybe at Slammiversary. Then we had AJ Francis coming out talking about he's here to make money, and he lost some dead weight and he does not care. So talking about how he lost Casey Navarro and Rick Swan, and he wants to be back on the top of the division, and to do so he needs to get rid of one of the top guys in Elijah. He does a country diss track that was awful. So Elijah comes out calling him a fake rapper, calling him a bootleg 2 Chainz and stuff. AJ Francis did not like it, so he hits him across the head with a guitar and gives him a cease and desist letter. So we have to see how this storyline plays out, but very interesting about the cease and desist. I bet you that's going to be a main part of the storyline somehow. So we have to see how these two interact next week. And then we had Elayna Black backstage talking trash about the women's division, mostly saying that Indi Hartwell is leeching off of Santino Marella's family drama with Arianna Grace to get a Knockouts title, while Elayna Black has been dominating almost all of the division, taking out anybody who tries to get in the division, even taking out Jada Stone a couple weeks ago. So why not she get an opportunity, but Indi Hartwell keeps smooshing up to Santino Marella. So it seems more likely Elayna Black is to have a feud with Indi Hartwell, and that's going to be good because they did have feuds in NXT, so kind of doing an NXT callback feud would be good for the women's division. And then we had the mixed tag team match of Santino Marella and Indi Hartwell versus Arianna Grace and Stacks. And right away, Arianna Grace smacks the hell out of Santino. Indi Hartwell pops off on Arianna. The both of them brawl on the outside. Stacks try to get the upper hand. Santino puts him in locks, beating him down. Near the end, pure chaos because Indi Hartwell sends Stacks flying with a big boot, hitting a side slam on Arianna Grace only for a 2 count, but then Arianna Grace fights back, hitting a cross body, but only a 2 count. And then near the end, just mixed tag team chaos, everyone going in the ring. And then Indi Hartwell and Santino was able to hit the Cobra, and Santino was able to make Stacks tap out. So we don't know if this feud is still continuing, but a great mixed tag team match for the show. Then we see the Elegance brand talking a lot of garbage about the women's division, saying that Mr. Elegance would take out Lei Ling in their intergender match, and also there's no one in the women's tag team division to fight them. And then we see Rosemary and her girls pop up, kind of scaring the hell out of them. And I'm saying this now, Maura Sheree and Ali would be a good tag team, and have Rosemary just go out to the main title. Maybe have all of these girls get the knockout gold to be a pretty dominant force in the knockouts division. Then we had Eric Young coming out saying that the cleansing is still happening. He took out Joe Hendry so bad that Joe Hendry moved to a different company. Ricky Sosa is no more the up and rising star, but he took him out. And EC3 was a former star who came back, but he stopped the spotlight. And he's coming after Mike Santana next. Mike Santana didn't like it, so Mike Santana pops off on him saying that he's a joke and he ain't gonna be no cleanser. And Ricky pretty much saying that Young is pretty much old, but Young says with his experience with so many different types of management in TNA, he knows how to go around it. Hitting a death driver on Santana, taking him out. So most likely, Eric Young will be the next TNA World Heavyweight Champion. And I can kind of see that, mostly if I can see where this is going. And I know where this is going, but I'm going to wait until my predictions for Slammiversary to talk about it. Because it's going to be kind of hard for TNA if it's going this route. But I wait to talk about it. Then we had the international champion Mustafa Ali talk about how Casey Navarro won the champion challenge last week, pinning him, so he gets the title opportunity for the international championship against Mustafa Ali. And he says it's a joke and how Casey won was a mistake. And he's going to prove that next week. Casey ain't taking the title off of him because he's going to do everything to stop Casey. So we have to see if Navarro is able to get the big win, getting the international championship off of Mustafa Ali. Then we had the most boringest match on the card, the intergender match with Ying versus Mr. Elegance. And Ying just wrecked Mr. Elegance for most of the match. We had Zaya Brookside on commentary, pretty much says what I was saying. That what the hell is this match? Why is this match even happening? And it makes Ying look like a joke. Literally, Zaya Brookside said on commentary, this makes the main champion look like a joke. And it did. How do you book your main champion? I don't care if it's man or woman, whoever is the champion, book them in this type of gimmick match with a competitor and make, like, literally at the end, Zaya Brookside helps and have the main champion lose to a joke character like Mr. Elegance.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Ying was such a breakout star when she won the TNA Knockouts Championship, and she just fell. Like, she had so much promise, and TNA just dropped the ball with this woman. She had a great backstory, she had great booking. TNA dropped the ball. So after Brookside says that at Slammiversary she's gonna go right after Ying, and that's when they're gonna have their match. And I'm saying this now, Brookside, just take the title. If they're not gonna book Ying right as champion, let Brookside have the title. Brookside comes from a wrestling family, she can cook. So let Brookside take the title, because goddamn, at TNA Women's Division, I don't know what happened. But after Masha and Jordan Grace kind of left, the women's division is getting lackluster. Then we had the main event, the Hardys versus the Righteous in Wicked Girded match. And I didn't even know how to describe this match. It was pretty much a hardcore match, decorated with flowers and just cottagecore, hardcore match. So everything was like Gordon-y, like Tea Party, Alice in Wonderland, like creepy, but just neon lights. The Hardys and the Righteous was beating the living out of each other. The Hardys was bleeding like crazy. They had barbed wire with flowers and vines wrapped around it. The Righteous was putting Matt and Jeff through barricade like walls of the garden with thumbtacks and barbed wire. It was so bloody, like sometimes I couldn't even see the match. I needed to turn away. They were choking out Dutch with the barbed wire in his mouth. It was just, it was like too much. Like, it was a cool match, but at points I'm like, okay, this is just pure insanity. At some point, Vincent takes out a flower. I think it's supposed to be like a psychotic, like a metaphor for drugs, giving it to Jeff Hardy, making him go crazy, and then like him passing out. Then he has to get taken away from medical, but then he comes back. But no matter what, the Righteous psychoticness breaks the broken Hardys, and they're able to get the win. But the Hardys disappear after. What the? Like, it was a good match, but like, and that's how we pretty much closed off TNA this week. Just, I have no words. Like, this week's booking of TNA was so strange, so Twilight Zone. It was like, I didn't know what I was watching halfway through the show. Like, I had no words for this week. I'm ready for next week of TNA. This week wasn't the week for TNA, and I can just see it. I'm being honest with my review. This is pretty much my review. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys next week. And hopefully it's not as chaotic as whatever the hell this week was. And I'll see you guys next time.